They strike from the shadows. They lead the way into the most dangerous places on Earth. When America needs the impossible done, they call the Rangers. The United States Army Rangers stand among the most elite fighting forces in the world. For nearly 3 centuries, from the frozen forests of colonial America to the scorching deserts of the Middle East, Rangers have been at the forefront of American military operations. Today we'll journey through the storied history of these legendary warriors, explore their grueling selection process, witness their unforgiving training regimen, and understand what truly sets them apart as Tier 2 Special Operations Forces. The Rangers' motto says it all: Rangers lead the way. Words first shouted by Colonel Norman Coter during the D-Day landings that have become the battle cry of America's premier light infantry force. The distinctive tan beret and the coveted Ranger tab are symbols earned through blood, sweat and unyielding determination. But behind these symbols lies a legacy of courage that few can truly comprehend. The Rangers' story begins in 1670, when Captain Benjamin Church formed a company of men to adopt Native American fighting tactics during King Philip's War. But it was during the French and Indian War when Major Robert Rogers formally organized the first Ranger unit, Rogers Rangers, in 1756. Rogers' 19 rules of ranging still form the foundation of Ranger tactics today. During the American Revolution, Francis Marion, the Swamp Fox, led Ranger-style operations that helped turn the tide against British forces in the southern colonies. The Civil War saw both Union and Confederate Ranger-type units, but it wasn't until World War II that the modern Ranger concept truly took shape. In 1942, as America entered World War II, the first official Ranger battalion since the Revolution was activated. Modelled after the British Commandos, 6 Ranger battalions would eventually see combat across North Africa, Italy and Northern Europe. The Rangers' most famous World War II action came on D-Day, June 6, 1944, when the 2nd Ranger Battalion scaled the 100-foot cliffs of Pointe du Hoc under devastating enemy fire to neutralize German artillery positions threatening the invasion beaches. During the Korean War, the 8th Army Ranger Company conducted deep penetration raids behind enemy lines, gathering intelligence and disrupting North Korean operations. In Vietnam, 75th Infantry Rangers conducted long-range reconnaissance patrols in some of the most hostile territory of the conflict. In 1983, Rangers spearheaded the invasion of Grenada. In 1989, they led the way into Panama during Operation Just Cause. But perhaps their most famous modern operation came in 1993 in Mogadishu, Somalia. Task Force Ranger, including elements of the 75th Ranger Regiment, Delta Force and other special operations units, conducted a daylight raid to capture lieutenants of warlord Mohammed Farah Aidid. What followed became known as the Battle of Mogadishu, immortalized in the book and film Black Hawk Down. When 2 UH-60 Black Hawk helicopters were shot down, Rangers fought through the night against overwhelming odds to secure the crash sites and recover their fallen comrades, embodying their creed, "Leave no man behind." 18 American servicemen lost their lives, including Rangers, but their valor and sacrifice demonstrated the unbreakable Ranger spirit. Following the September 11th attacks, Rangers were among the first boots on the ground in Afghanistan, conducting a combat jump to secure Objective Rhino in October 2001. Throughout the global war on terror, Rangers have conducted thousands of direct action raids, targeting high-value enemy leaders and disrupting terrorist networks across Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria and beyond. The Ranger legacy is carried by the extraordinary individuals who have earned the right to wear the tan beret. General Stanley McChrystal began his career as a Ranger and rose to command all US and NATO forces in Afghanistan. Pat Tillman walked away from a multi-million-dollar NFL contract after 9/11 to become a Ranger, making the ultimate sacrifice in Afghanistan in 2004. Colin Powell before becoming chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and Secretary of State, served as a young officer in the 101st Airborne Division and completed Ranger School. Robert Rogers, the father of American Rangers, whose 18th century tactics still influence special operations today. Captain Robert Jonas received the Silver Star for his actions in Mogadishu, repeatedly exposing himself to enemy fire to organize the defense of a helicopter crash site, and Staff Sergeant Leroy Petrie, who was awarded the Medal of Honor after saving his fellow Rangers by picking up and throwing away an enemy grenade during a 2008 raid in Afghanistan, losing his right hand in the process but continuing to lead his men. Today's 75th Ranger Regiment consists of a regimental headquarters, the Ranger Special Troops Battalion, and 3 Ranger battalions. The 1st at Fort Stewart, Georgia, the 2nd at Fort Moore, Georgia, and the 3rd at Fort Benning, Georgia. The regiment's battle streamers tell a story of American military history with participation in virtually every major conflict. Their unit awards include Presidential Unit Citations, Valorous Unit Awards, and Meritorious Unit Commendations. As a Tier 2 Special Operations unit within the United States Special Operations Command, Rangers operate just below Tier 1 units like Delta Force and SEAL Team 6, but their capabilities and operational tempo are no less impressive. All Rangers must be airborne qualified, completing the Army's basic airborne course at Fort Benning. Here, they learn to safely exit aircraft, control their parachutes, and land without injury skills that have been part of Ranger operations since World War II. Many Rangers also attend Air Assault School, where they master helicopter insertion techniques, sling load operations, and rappelling from aircraft. Separate from RASP is the legendary US Army Ranger School, a 61-day leadership course that's considered the Army's premier combat leadership school. While not required to serve in the 75th Ranger Regiment, most Rangers eventually attend this brutal course to earn the coveted Ranger tab. Ranger School pushes students through 3 phases: Derby, Mountain, and Florida, under conditions of extreme stress, minimal food, and little sleep. Students typically lose 20 to 30 pounds during the course and operate on an average of 3 to 4 hours of sleep per night. The course tests small unit tactics and leadership under pressure, with students rotating through leadership positions as they conduct ambushes, raids, and reconnaissance missions. Beyond these core requirements, Rangers receive additional specialized training: SEER, Survival, Evasion, Resistance, and Escape. School teaches Rangers how to survive behind enemy lines and resist interrogation if captured. Military Freefall School, also known as HALO, High Altitude, Low Opening, trains Rangers to conduct airborne insertions from extreme altitudes, allowing for covert infiltration deep behind enemy lines. Pathfinder School produces experts in establishing drop zones and helicopter landing zones in hostile territory. Rough terrain jump training prepares Rangers for parachute operations in challenging environments like mountains, deserts, or urban areas. Combat diver training enables underwater operations for specialized Ranger elements. This constant, progressive training creates warriors capable of executing the most challenging missions in any environment on Earth. The United States Army Rangers represent the pinnacle of American military prowess, an elite force that has been at the tip of the spear in every major conflict for nearly 3 centuries. Their history is America's history. Their battles have shaped nations. Their sacrifices have preserved freedom. From the frozen forests of colonial America to the mountains of Afghanistan, Rangers have lived by their creed, never leaving a fallen comrade, leading from the front and completing the mission despite all odds. The tan beret is more than a uniform item. It's a symbol of the extraordinary few who have proven themselves worthy of joining this brotherhood of warriors. For those who wear it, Rangers lead the way isn't just a motto, it's a sacred responsibility to uphold a legacy of excellence that stretches back to the very founding of our nation. As long as America faces threats that require the impossible, the Rangers will be the silent professionals moving through the darkness, ensuring that freedom endures. Rangers lead the way.